longer than before. Go, Zeo, hope it's not a bore. Go, Zeo, time for season 4. Zeo, Ranger Danger. Welcome once again to Ranger Danger Zeo. This is the podcast where we go into the Octagon with episodes of Power Rangers Zeo. My name is Matt.
I'm Michael. Hey, guys.
Michael's here. We're very excited to watch episode 158 of Power Rangers, the third episode of Power Rangers Zeo. It's called The Shooting Star. I know Michael and I are very excited to get some more Sentai footage back into our Power Rangers.
We sure are.
And it just so happens we have some Sentai experts here to go through that process with us. I'd very much like to welcome Matt and Dave, the Super Sentai Brothers. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Extraordinarily generous to call us experts. We're not that.
No, we are simply
possible stretch of the
guys who have
imagination.
seen some of the show.
I like to think that you're as much experts on Sentai as we are of Power Rangers, because we simply actually haven't seen probably most of Power Rangers, I'd say.
Definitely say most, yeah.
But for the purposes of a podcast where we can heighten things a little bit, I think we can call
We're
you
all experts
the
today.
best at Sentai.
Well, we're the best and only podcast dedicated to Ninja Sentai Kaku Ranger.
That is literally our tagline.
Absolutely. And I think that's provable, you know?
Yeah, that's
just a fact.
We call us the best Power Rangers podcast in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah.
Because we are also probably the only Power Rangers podcast in
Totally
the Southern
fair.
Hemisphere.
Makes sense.
That's why we have to keep a close eye on New Zealand.
Yeah.
And if anyone even thinks about doing a Power Rangers podcast, we have to break out our bat and just go visiting some people.
Right, because you guys have a blood feud, right? This is a thing.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. That's why it really pains us to watch episodes of Dino Charge where it's all shot in New Zealand, often set in New Zealand. That's an insult, I think, to my people.
They've got a Kiwi character right up in there.
Oh,
they do.
With the skateboard.
Yeah. God, I love Chase.
And he's got a Kiwi on his skateboard, which is
How
really
would you
just
know
gilding the
otherwise?
lily.
That is, okay, listen, I will tell you, that is 100% there for Americans.
Yes.
Yeah, because when you ask, how could you tell the difference, that's the only way. I promise you.
Oh yeah, listen, in my memory of watching Power Rangers as a child, I had sort of fallen off by the time Kat was around regularly.
Yes.
I would still pop in every once in a while, but I thought until I started listening to you guys and the Morphin Grid that Kat was British. In my memory, Kat was from England because she had an accent, and I was a child from America.
She was non-American. Yeah, that's
Right.
fair.
And that's your other option.
That's all you need to know.
Exactly. That's the important distinction. All right, Michael, before we watch the episode today,
Yes.
we should talk a little bit about where we're at in the show, right?
Yes.
So we have just started in Zeo. We've had our 2-part opening. We haven't even seen any Zords yet.
No.
So that'll be cool. And we're launching into it basically fresh. Should we do a bit of a catch-up on where we're at, or should we just charge ahead, do you think?
So guys, how much do you know about Alien Rangers?
I know everything that a person who has listened to all but the last 3 episodes of Ranger Danger would know. That's what I know about Alien Ranger.
Okay,
I know they're from a water planet, and I think they're telepathic, right? Or something?
You might be thinking of the Tomorrow People.
Yes, that is what I'm 100%. They can teleport, right? Yeah.
Yes.
They are telepathic with fish, so
are they? I think
they
you're
were
thinking of
very
Aquaman.
briefly. No. Remember they went to the aquarium to speak to the fish?
I do remember that they went to the aquarium to speak with the fish. That's oh my god, what is this television show?
Terrible. There you go.
Wait. So the
Got it in
fish
one.
are Earth fish intelligent, and we just can't communicate with them?
That appears to be the case in the Power Rangers universe, yes.
Also, does that suggest that all fish, no matter what planet they're on, speak the same fish language?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, that makes sense.
That's deeply upsetting on so many levels.
I was kind of running under the assumption that not only do they all know the same language, they just can communicate. So there's a big galactic fish network. And every time we eat a fish, all fish throughout the galaxy know. So we're creating some enemies every time we go to the fish and chip shop.
Oh my god!
Is that not what you took away from that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that's
disappointed
absolutely the takeaway. If all fish are telepathic, no.
Yeah, we're just setting ourselves up for disaster.
Oh boy, we definitely are doing that. All right, so here's all the main things you need to know. The command center blew up.
Okay.
But they've got a secret command center downstairs, which
Did they
Just
build
literally
a
in the
new
basement?
one? Or was it
Zordon
always
had-
there?
Zordon had been building it for months. For no good reason, because he didn't know it was about to blow up.
Convenient.
Yeah.
I mean, you say Zordon built it, but he don't have hands. That was
Well,
all
yeah.
I was going to say, did he just yell at Alpha until Alpha did it?
100%.
That is how this show works, yes. I
I like to think that somewhere in the basement are Alphas 7 through 672, and Ed is just his army of Alpha workers.
We did see in Alien Ranger downstairs in the underneath tunnels just bits of alphas in boxes.
Oh no!
So
Whoa.
that's actually not as far-fetched as you might think.
Man,
Ordered them in bulk a very long time ago.
Yeah. I mean, you got to imagine that at least alphas 1 through 4 are down there in bits and pieces somewhere.
Well, the intergalactic shipping is super expensive. So if you're going to buy one,
Yeah.
you might as well just buy 4
Yeah,
or 5.
you-
And
Right, if you
And
have
who
Amazon but you
knows-
don't have Prime and you need to hit that $25 mark so they'll give you free shipping.
Exactly.
and who knows when they're going to discontinue the model, and then you won't be able to get fucking parts for it. Just order all the ones you would possibly need right up front, and then you're good forever.
And you also want to keep bits of old alphas, because most of those bits are probably going to be in working order. So,
yeah, just because one of them lost an arm, you've
Yeah.
still got, a good arm.
and construction work is dangerous, so your alpha's probably going to lose some bits and pieces along the way.
Oh, naturally.
Yeah, so you just want to be able to sort of plug and play with those new bits of alpha.
I'm so sad about Alpha.
You should be.
So after the command center blew up, the Power Rangers lost their powers, but that's okay because they got
Yes.
new powers.
From the Zeo crystal.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. They got that by going into the past / different dimensions / fever dreams individually and bringing back individual bits of the Zeo crystal.
And then Goldar stole it and then lost it.
Yeah, I think he dropped it on the way out, basically, is what we've taken away from this.
Nice moves, Goldar.
Oh, we should mention Goldar and Rito have amnesia and are living with Vulcan Skull. And it's okay if you need to take a minute to process that.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
They've become
So
Vulcan Skulls like slave house servants.
Sure.
Wait,
Hey,
do
why
Vulcan
not?
Skull live together?
That is a very good question.
Have they just? I mean, listen. The 90s were a different time, I guess. Did they feel the need to keep that relationship secret, and they're finally just, this is us, and we're here now?
Look,
I don't know.
The
I mean,
text doesn't say that
Listen, I think their
explicitly,
parents
but-
were in...
sorry.
I think their parents have shown up
Oh,
once.
sorry. I think I started to talk over you there.
No, it's all good. Yeah, I think we've seen their parents come to Angel Grove High for like a parent day, like very early on in Mighty Morphin.
I mean, here's the thing. It's possible that they've finished high school.
No.
We haven't seen them in high school in a while.
No,
have we?
but Tanya just got enrolled in Angel Grove High.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So if they're still in high school, Vulcan Skull is still in high school.
All right, fair enough.
It's a confusing situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This-
I think you could
okay.
certainly read into it that they are living together as a couple.
With a giant, golden lion and an army skeleton as their live-in servants.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, the Rito, the army skeleton, that character model, I think, is from Kaku Ranger, is it not?
I believe so, yes.
It's not something that we've encountered yet,
Yeah,
but
we-
I know that a lot of the stuff from right before Zeo, especially Alien Ranger, is all Kaku Ranger stuff.
Yeah, we had a whole season of the Zords and the monsters in their large form being sort of Kaku Ranger footage, but all Ranger footage and monster fights were American footage with the suits imported from Japan. and it was terrible. It was truly, truly affronting.
Matt, are you telling me you didn't love Brick Bully?
Not so much.
He was part of a wall that got turned into a monster.
Yeah, that's true. That
You
happened.
guys are in for some stuff.
Honestly,
Wait, what was just brick? He literally okay.
Yeah,
It's just a wall?
You've
actually
him.
very briefly seen Brick Bully in the first
Oh,
episode
that
of
guy.
Power Ranger.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so the origin in Power Rangers is literally just a hunk of a wall.
Yep. So
I can't see why you would need anything else.
I've listened to the first episode so far of your new podcast series, A View to a Kaku Ranger, just to compare your experiences with ours. And I'm already so angry, you guys, at how much better your one episode of Kaku Ranger has been to our whole previous season. So my understanding is that... Sorry, go.
Oh, does yours have ninjas? Like, honest to God, fucking ninjas. For real ninjas.
No. And ninjas.
Well,
were
yeah, I mean, you're
aliens.
already...
They're sea aliens.
Yeah. And so what is the Shogun Zord to us? In the first episode of your show was a castle that turned into a Zord? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a giant... Yeah, it's exactly that. So I was going to elaborate, but it's pointless. It's a giant castle that, like, stands up, and then it's got a sword that's made out of... fire shoots out of the handle, and then that fire condenses into a sword, but then the sword is also on fire, and then it fucks guys up with that.
Cool. Well, I
We
love
still
you
don't
guys,
know
but
actually
I'm also...
what the deal is with it because we're only a few episodes in. So it's just a thing that up until this point exists like externally to them. Like they've never controlled it. It just stood up and swatted a
Hangs
dude with a
around.
fire sword and then I guess disappeared into the wind?
Amazing. Amazing. I'm so jealous.
There's still a
that
lot of unanswered questions about Kaku Ranger.
Oh, you know how your guys turn into the giant robots?
No, I don't
Yeah.
have,
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm up to date on their podcast, so I know that they've seen that.
Yep.
Well, in Alien Ranger, those are called the Battle Borgs, and the Alien Rangers control them by standing on the ground and punching in air.
Okay. That's...
Okay.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, because
Sort
I
of
had...
the G Gundam thing.
Yeah,
If you
Yeah,
happen
but
to have
not
seen G
in it.
Gundam.
yeah, not inside it. They're just like around the place.
That's got to be disappointing for them.
This show
It's
is not
disappointing
good,
for me.
guys. It's not. It's not. Zeo might be good now.
Yeah, well,
Maybe.
it could only be uphill, basically.
We're hoping.
All right, on that note, how about we go watch episode number 3 of Power Rangers Zeo? We'll see you guys in just a moment, and we'll be back with the Sentai Brothers to break it down for you. We'll see you soon. And we're back. That was an episode of television, probably. I guess I definitely
yeah.
have to admit that it is.
I mean, look.
Sure
most
was,
listeners know-
boy howdy.
Our listeners know what we think. Why don't we What did you guys think? When was the last time you saw an episode of Power Rangers?
I have actually been doing a bit of watching Time Force a few months ago.
I
But
watched
Time Force
an
is very
episode...
good.
I watched the Christmas episode of Power Rangers Dino Charge. That's the most recent thing I watched.
Oh yeah, actually that would be the most recent one I've watched. But yeah, I watched a few episodes, about maybe half the season of Time Force. But that is the oldest thing that I've seen in a while. So I haven't watched the Angel Grove Power Rangers since A Real Big Fish Story that I was on last time.
That was a long time ago now.
Yeah.
So the show has both changed and not changed at all since then, I'd imagine.
I was going to say, Rocky's still here.
Sadly, yes.
Vulcan Skull,
Billy
still
is
here.
still here, too.
Yes,
I
he
was-
is, but he's no longer a Power Ranger.
Yeah,
Which-
that's gotta
yeah.
suck for him. I would
No, it
think.
doesn't, because now he looks like a hot college English professor.
That's true. That's definitely the case.
I
He
guess-
gave
I
the
guess.
powers-
Turtleneck and just like chilling in like a science lab. That's got to be his favorite thing in the world.
Okay, that's a real good point. So when everybody else de-aged, did Billy did he jump forward more? Like, is there an explanation as to why he looks 35? Or is it just like...
Billy, it's David Yost was 35.
Yeah, no, I'm just wondering if they there's a nod. Like, that was a moment. They could have reset, like, oh, Billy, oh no, like, you've absorbed too much time energy and you've aged 10 years or some shit. I don't know.
They did not do that. I can only assume that the in-universe explanation is going from overalls to a classy sweater will make you look significantly older.
Yeah.
There's truth to that. That's not wrong.
All of the stress of being a Power Ranger has lifted for him too. Like he's not going to get interrupted 5 minutes into whatever he's doing to go punch some robots. He knows that he can start a good book and get to the end of that book if he wants to. So he's much more relaxed now.
So this was the first time I had ever seen Zeo, because by the time Zeo came out in the original run, I think I mentioned earlier that I had sort of stopped watching in waves, and the final thing that made me stop watching Power Rangers was Zeo, because Billy was no longer a Power Ranger. And Billy, he was the last of the original 5 that had been a Ranger. And I know that Tommy is kind of original, but he doesn't count in my head. And so
because he's not.
Right,
yeah,
he wasn't in the first episode. So when Billy stopped being a Power Ranger, and then when they changed costumes and there was an option for Tommy to be the Green Ranger again, but he instead became the Red Ranger, I decided that I was never watching Power Rangers again. That was it for me.
I think that's what the executives were terrified of, right?
Yes.
You are like a nightmare story for them.
Yeah, I think in their heads they had to weigh up, well, we could make him the Green Ranger again, that would be cool, but also the footage would make it look like he's no longer the coolest leader and in charge of everybody, which I don't think was okay with them, or probably Jason David Frank, if I'm honest.
Definitely Jason.
Yeah,
that's 100% not.
For sure.
No, I think because Jason David Frank has been the 6th Ranger 3 times. He's been a mentor and he's been 2 Red Rangers. The only thing that he hasn't ever been is just the blue guy, you know?
Yeah, never a supporting Ranger.
Right, he can't. He can't at this point. He's in too deep now.
Dude, he can never. Yeah. He showed up, he broke down the back door of the Megazord, and in that moment he decided that he would never be a Power Ranger's second fiddle. He would either be in charge or leave the show.
Yeah, I mean, he sucker punched in the back of the head all of the supporting Rangers, which I think is as much a statement about that as you could possibly get.
It's a Tommy show now.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, yeah.
For
that seems to have worked. It was pretty much the Tommy show for a long time, was it not?
Oh, 100%.
It really was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And his hair just got more and more Tommy
luxurious?
The longer it went on.
More and more Adrian Paul? Is that what you were trying to say?
Yes, he's got a real Adrian Paul vibe going on.
Yeah, he absolutely looks like the Highlanders' illegitimate son. Which is not possible, because Highlanders can't have children.
No, because they can only be...
But if he could, that's what would be happening here.
All right, well, I feel like we've set expectations really high for this episode now that we've compared it to Highlander. How about we break it down from the top? Michael, where do we start?
We start with Jets, Matthew.
Yeah. That's not something we've really had on Power Rangers before.
No.
I mean, you guys had Jets for a whole season, is my understanding, because you had a Sentai called Jetman.
Yeah, Jets all up in there.
Yeah,
Jets
all
all
up
the
in
time.
that business.
Whereas for us, Jets are a fresh novelty.
Yeah.
That's also exactly what they are in this episode, because we never see them again after this 5 seconds.
No, they're being attacked by some Quadra fighters.
They're not, though. They fly near some Quadra fighters, and then everything is fine.
There.
Yep.
Okay, so have you ever seen the first episode or any of O Ranger?
No.
Okay, I have seen
Ranger.
the very first episode of O Ranger, and there are 1 or 2 things that I noticed in this that I wanted to mention. One of them is in the first episode of O Ranger. There's the invasion of the Machine Empire or whatever.
Yes.
Yep.
And the reason we only get like 2 seconds of footage of these planes in Power Rangers is because in the 3rd second in O-Ranger, they're immediately like fired upon and blown up. Like,
oh shit!
So many people
Awesome.
get killed in that first episode.
That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, Sentai's so much better.
Yeah, I really expected we were going to get...
very raw.
It's
Yeah.
so raw. I did expect like a jet monster. Like that's the training that I have. Like, oh, jets in the first 3 seconds, jet monster coming up. It's not the case.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that happens on this show, but it's equally likely that there's jets in the first 3 seconds, and then we just get a star monster that can transform into a sphere.
Yeah, that'll happen.
It does.
In about
It certainly
12
will.
minutes, yeah.
Right. So
Okay.
we're in high school, right? These guys, they're still in
Yeah.
high school though.
It feels weird, but that's right. They're still in high school.
So what's the
Because
breakdown?
Tommy-
Mighty Morphin 1, 2, 3... We're in Zeo now.
4th year of high school if the timeline tracks, basically.
So they
Because
must
Tommy
be
has
close
like
to
a
finish.
full on 5 o'clock shadow. Like that dude that dude doesn't. He needs to shave.
He's not trying to look like a teenager at all.
Yeah, just
So
no.
I guess
nothing.
we've either got 2 options here, which is that the Power Rangers started being Power Rangers when they were freshmen, or Power Rangering has taken up so much of their time that Billy is the only one who managed to graduate, and the rest have just been held back for years.
That's a super solid theory. to
Yeah,
be
because
honest.
Billy's a genius, so...
He manages.
He doesn't need to study. He could just rock up for only tests and pass, basically.
Yeah, he
Right,
was
but
in,
like-
Yeah. We both stopped just then.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Sorry,
That's okay. Like-
the sound cut out for me.
Okay, sorry. Let me hop back in. Yeah, I mean, Rocky was barely going to graduate high school to begin with, and so if you give him like a part-time job fighting monsters every night, like that dude does not have time to do the studying he needs.
No. I mean, Rocky, I feel like, if anything, needs some extra attention. And especially with Billy gone, I imagine that Billy was able to sort of like bolster Rocky a little bit, but now Billy's got actual responsibilities, so Rocky's fucked,
Do you
basically.
think Rocky ever goes to, like, the command center and is like, Billy, I don't understand algebra?
Yes.
And Billy's like, you learnt this 12 years ago. What is...
And also, I'm trying to invent teleportation again, basically. I don't have time for algebra anymore.
Do you think maybe
I
there's,
need to
like...
build these new Zords by hand.
yeah. So starting by crawling under the console in the command center, apparently.
Maybe they've got, like, a spare top half of an Alpha 5 robot that they've repurposed as, like, an educational toy. And he, like, tests you and zaps you with electricity if you get it wrong.
I don't know if I ever talked about this on the podcast. When I was younger, I had an educational robot myself.
So did I. Did you put tapes into
Yes.
him? Was he grey?
Yeah, yes. Yes, we're definitely thinking of the same thing.
Oh my god, did we have the same educational robot toy?
Yeah, and I still don't know how it worked, because you'd put tapes into him, like cassette tapes, and then it would quiz you on things, and you'd have to push buttons on the robot to answer yes or no, and the buttons would
What?
change. Yeah, it was like a choose your
Was
own
it this
adventure.
guy, Matt?
Yes, it was.
Oh my god, 2XL. We had the same educational... That's so messed up.
I mean, that explains why we're so similar as people, Michael.
I think ours
You've been
still
brought
might
up
be
as
in
in
the
what is this
garage.
thing called?
His name is 2XL.
So 2-XL, basically. Wow. Yeah, this has really taken me back. I had so many of these tapes, because some of them were more educational than others. Like, some were just like, here's a math one, and then the other one was like, here's a very specific set of history, and we'll go on a choose your own adventure thing about it, and then also I'll test you on some stuff from time to time.
You know what?
looks
I
like-
think a buddy of mine had one of these.
I'm so glad it made it to America.
It looks like from his Wikipedia page
Yeah.
that this was like the hot shit in the 90s.
Yeah.
So like...
Oh my god,
my
there was an
God.
X-Men one. I didn't get any X-Men tapes.
There was a Power Rangers tape.
What?
There
my
was a
gosh.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers tape for 2X. Okay.
Well, we have a special episode
What
coming
are
up.
the odds that I can get 2XL from our garage?
Yep.
Somehow repair him.
Yep.
Buy a Power Rangers tape on the internet.
That hasn't worn out in the past 25 years.
I mean, we have to try now.
We
right?
do have to.
Yeah, no, this is your this is your quest, guys. Like, you've got to fucking make this happen.
This is our moment.
Oh my god, what an
Oh, we can do the whole thing live too. Holy shit, we can just do the tape.
Okay,
All right.
we're going to stop talking about that, but that's definitely a thing that we are going to try and do.
Yes.
So this is a new learning center space at school.
Yes. So they basically walk in and say, "Hey, how nice is this new set, you guys?"
Yeah.
While pointing around at it.
When was the last time they were at school? We haven't seen them at school in a while because it's been the past.
Yes. Boy, that was weird. Yeah.
So maybe they were building it while it was the past.
Maybe.
And now it's
put
just
a brick there, and it grew into.
I don't have an answer for you on that one.
Okay, fair enough. So Tanya is complaining. She still feels like she's the new girl, which is reasonable.
Oh,
because
that's right, because Tanya's not from Angel Grove, right? She's
No,
from the
she's
past
not.
and also Africa?
That's exactly correct. Yep. So, do you remember, Dave, Aisha, the other Power Ranger who was the Yellow Ranger before her?
Yeah, I think I was still watching when she was on.
Okay, well, in her Zeo quest, she goes to Africa
In the past.
Okay.
and sends Tanya back instead of her, basically.
So, I want to be super clear about this. So, Tanya is supposed to be a native of a nation in Africa somewhere. Yes.
That's correct. Also, this is very important to know. When Tanya left Africa, she was probably 12 or 13. And then
Because
when...
of time shenanigans being all messed up.
Okay.
No, I don't know how true that is, because she was in a different time. We have no reason to believe that the different times went back in time.
I think they were just in the regular past. I think that's when that was happening.
If you say so. Because no one in that African community commented on the fact that they'd gotten younger. I guess no one knew.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
I guess that...
And how, just to be like, how sensitive was Power Rangers about, like, the place where Tanya comes from? Like, did they acknowledge that Africa does have, like, modern cities, or...
No,
Here's what I'm going to tell you. It was a bunch of huts around a campfire, and there was a lion.
Of course it was.
Guys.
Of course it was.
Oh my
This
gosh,
is the
dude,
show,
you
guys.
can't... Power Rangers, guys, you can't do that!
well, that didn't stop him.
So the reason Tanya still feels like she's the new girl is, to her, last week was at least the 1980s, if not earlier. And she literally was enrolled in the high school at the end of last week's episode.
Yeah, so she's new to America, new to Angel Grove, new to high school, and also new to post-puberty, basically.
So okay.
So
The
she
fact that
just
she's
knocked all that out in a
coping-
week.
Yeah, she's a fast learner, I suppose.
She's caught up very quickly because she's already got a baseball player boyfriend.
I was going to
Man,
say,
she is-
that makes Sean double creepy.
Oh, 100%. That guy is not a healthy individual.
No. But okay, so here's the thing. If she was 12 last week, how has in the last 7 days she learned enough about math to be tutoring algebra?
Yeah, valid
okay,
question.
Okay, here's what I think.
Yeah.
And I will admit that very little of this is supported by the actual television show that we watch, but that's the universe that we have to deal with.
Yep.
I was
think
gonna say,
Tanya
man.
was the Power Rangers age in Africa now. And then the whole world went back in time. And Tanya also became a child, like everyone did. And then when we've come back to the present, like, Tanya didn't skip 19. She just went back from 19 to 12 and forward again.
Oh, that's
Okay.
like the
No,
mind
that
bending.
works.
I can accept that.
Except that if you go back in time,
Yes.
why would you go back in time to somewhere that has gone back in time?
No, the whole world went back in time.
Yes. Okay, so you think that
The
Aisha didn't go
experience
back in time?
Happened concurrently, yes.
Right. Okay. All right. Oh, my head.
Here's the problem. This show loves the idea of time travel.
But does not understand it.
It hates actually figuring out what time travel is.
Yeah.
So, like, everyone went back in time, but no one really knows it's the past.
And some people got younger and some didn't arbitrarily.
Yeah.
We have to move on because this drove us mad.
Okay,
3 weeks ago.
I was going to say, I
and it'll
remember the time that they went back to the past with the second, cloned Tommy, and how that made no sense. And I've just given up on ever trying to understand time travel with this show.
Here's some other times they've gone back in time and it made no sense. That time Tommy sent a message to himself in the future, and the message was different in the first part of the episode to the second part of the episode.
Yeah, because I presume they didn't figure out what they were going to do in the second episode when they wrote the first one.
They went back in time twice, right? Once with Tom Oliver and once...
There was a Wild West one.
They went to the Wild West.
Yes.
They gave the Power Rangers the Wild West powers, which were the same as normal but with tassels.
Mm-hmm. They've also been made younger that had nothing to do with time travel one time.
Time with a photo, and another time, 2 episodes later.
Yep. I will also say, and I think this is super important for you to know if you enjoy Power Rangers, that clone of Tom Oliver, got sent back to 1700s Angel Grove at the end of that story. And that's the last we see of him. So for all we know, there was a version of Tommy that had all of his memories and life experiences that lived out his life in Angel Grove in the late 1700s. That's just been left on the table.
But there's...
But in the late 1700s...
Yeah.
That's California.
Mm-hmm.
I mean... So...
There's
that part of America was not... the same kind of...
Oh, okay. We gotta move on.
Yeah. You can't figure this stuff out because they don't care about it, basically. There's no answers to be found.
You can question and question and question for 3 and a bit years, and you will never find peace.
The answer will always be, oh, we don't give a shit. That's their response to you when you try to figure this out.
All right, so let's talk about Sean, Tanya's new kind of boyfriend.
Yeah, I think
it seems that way.
Called him a boyfriend.
So he's the captain of the baseball team.
Yep.
And she's helping him study with algebra. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, in my life was never a euphemism for dating someone, but I guess it can be.
Yeah, I mean, if it was, you would have had a lot of girlfriends.
Oh, yeah. I did a lot of studying for algebra.
Yeah.
So is Sean supposed to be the Purple Ranger? Is he going to be the 6th Ranger? Because that dude definitely shows up in, all one primary color. There's not a primary color, but,
It makes me wonder if you go to school with a very popular bunch of people that all dress in, very strong primary colors all of the time. If it makes you be like, oh, is that what cool people do? And then that kind of just spreads out. Everyone starts dressing that way.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Because, who
that's
in the
gotta
school
be
is more popular than Tommy Oliver?
Nobody.
Right. And also, nobody else thinks it's fucking weird that these 5 people just only ever dress in one damn color.
And sometimes change the color.
Exactly.
It's got to be weird for the 12th person to catch on though, because you're scouring the racks at Target for no, someone's already wearing red. No, I guess I could be the camo guy, but
no,
I don't.
You get to graphite and you're like, oh boy, we're really stretching now.
No, Matt, he's fine because he's a prince.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
so she's helping him study with algebra. Meanwhile. Billy is working on the Zeo Zords.
Yeah.
They're hidden in the mountains outside Angel Grove. Mm-hmm. And for the first time, we get an explanation as to where and why those are.
Yeah, which is a surprising amount of world building for the show.
They're being protected from Mondo's sensors. Mm-hmm. That's important, because otherwise he'd just blow them up, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mondo is King Cog, right? That's who that's the connection, the boss.
Yes.
Okay, right on. Also, I did notice...
Yeah.
He's in my notes as King Cog because I didn't catch his name. So I do love in the background that they have the old Power Rangers posters or something of the old Power Rangers suits, which I thought was a fucking great touch.
I think it's meant to be a display case of in the Batcave they've got all the old Robin suits that.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought that was a really cool. That's just a great idea, man. I dig that.
It is very cool.
we went on maybe a 10-minute tear last week about how logically the thing that happens is eventually someone invades the base and the Power Rangers have to like pick up their old weapons. And of course, on this show, that will never.
Yeah, no, that would never happen. But that would be so cool.
Dude, it'd be like that issue of JLA where they're on the watchtower and the key captures everybody but Connor Hawk. And he has to take Oliver Queen's stuff
bust out the old arrows.
The boxing glove arrow.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, God, I love that issue.
See how cool this show will never be? That's what you guys have to understand is we are a podcast that is 98% about wasted potential. There's so much stuff that this show could do that never, ever will do.
Yeah.
All right. So Billy's like, oh, we want to test the Zords before they use them. What a nerd.
Yeah.
Preparation. Hate it.
But that's fine. So he's just, I don't know, doing science stuff.
Sure. I mean, they say he's building the Zords, but we only ever see him, ducking under the console in the command chamber, which seems different.
What's he supposed to be doing?
That's where they are.
Okay. In Jetman, which of course is a different show from a different series of shows, but, adjacent.
Ish.
In Jetman, most of the upgrades they did involved a lot of, typing out a computer and doing, software upgrades.
Okay. So maybe he's doing firmware updates.
There you go.
Yeah, he's got to download the new iOS.
That's right. Yeah. He wants them to be able to contact Siri from within the Zords, basically.
Put Force Touch on the...
that would be cool.
Why do none of the Zords ever have, an artificial intelligence that's because it'd be too much work. Anyway, that's what's going on.
They're patched into alpha, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, alpha is artificial intelligence. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Vulcan Skull. I know.
Oh my God! Yes,
you,
please.
But,
yes. So we go to a garage, which is one of their or both of their homes. I assume there's a house attached to the garage, and they're not just literally living in a garage. But I have no way of knowing otherwise.
I think
we've
that's
never
safe.
seen a house.
I guess it's their hangout place.
Yeah, it's like Skull's garage that they go to.
Yeah.
So
to be fair, in high school, I had a friend with a garage, and whenever I mean, all of my friends had garages, but one of my friends, I went to their place, we hung out in their garage exclusively, even in the winter, which was a very bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you can hang out in a garage as a kid, you're going to do it.
Are you?
Yeah, if you make that your space, your
sure,
pad.
fair enough.
100%.
So last week or the week before, Skull found an old police bike.
Yes.
And that's something that they've managed to refurbish with the help of Rito and Goldar, who are dressed in, maid outfits.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. They've got the headpiece too.
It's basically
only the apron and the
Imagine all the frilly bits from a French maid costume, and that's what they've got.
Who bought those for them? Is that something that Skull had lying around, or did was?
That is a part of that I had not considered.
That's
man. Vulcan Skull they've got a thing, and it's 2016. I'm not going to judge them for that.
Absolutely.
I am.
It's particularly strange when you consider that Rito is essentially naked as well. So he's basically just a naked guy wearing the ribbon parts of a maid outfit.
Are you telling me that doesn't do it for you, Matt? Because it definitely doesn't do it for me. It wouldn't be weird if it didn't do it for you. I don't think there's many people in the world who'd be like, oh yeah, sexy maid skeletons.
But you know that one kid was watching Power Rangers and it just imprinted on him in a
100%.
very intense way.
Right, that was a very formative moment for one dude.
That guy gets real excited every Halloween.
A bone, because Rito's made of bones.
I was following, but I was hoping you'd
right there
stop.
with you.
This
this motorcycle that they've got, it's got dust on it, and Skull is just like, you guys, you didn't... Sorry, Bulk. Bulk is just like, guys, you effed it up. There's still dust. You got to do it again. Goldar balks at this. He's furious. Rito is just like, no, I got this. Like, sorry, boss. Like, I'm going to take care of it. And he comes over and he notices that there's a smudge on the rearview mirror of the motorcycle, which he then breathes on and like tries to clean it.
You know, I made a note of this
that
as
dude
well.
That dude's a fucking skeleton.
Yeah,
what's he breathing?
What's he
He
breathing?
doesn't have any lungs.
Like, how does he have human breath?
We've seen him like outside on the moon.
Yeah.
So
He doesn't need oxygen.
look, guys, like we said, this is not a show that will give you answers to your questions. So
After Rito has finished redusting the bike, we look over to Skull, and Skull is sitting there next to a toaster, and he has just apparently toasted an entire loaf of bread and is eating
what
more
the
toast
fuck?
directly out of the toaster. Like, there is no plate. He is pulling the pieces of bread out of the toaster and either like putting them on a tray or putting them directly into his mouth.
Yep.
Is this a
honestly,
thing?
these parts of the show feel like they sent these guys out with like a B camera crew and just said like, we need 3 minutes this episode.
Go. Yeah.
Because
Just do whatever the
Jason
fuck
Nardu
you
was
want.
like, dude, I've got a great idea. And just like, we're going to mess around and I'm going to do some toast stuff. Honestly,
like,
I'll tell you what,
yeah.
I loved it.
Oh, yeah. These are by far the best parts of the episode, when there's clearly some talented improvisers in the cast that provide much better material than any of the people, quote-unquote, writing this show.
Oh God, Matt.
What?
No, I mean, it's hard to argue with that sentence. That's true. So Vulcan Skull take the rocket bike out for a spin. I say rocket bike because it's got rocket boosters, which is, I guess,
Yup.
sure.
Yeah, I was...
Yeah, that thing's got fucking nitrous.
Oh my gosh. So so Bulk is like, man, when the what's the sergeant, what's his name? Stone?
Lieutenant
Yep.
Stone.
Lieutenant Stone. He's like, when Lieutenant Stone gets a look at all the gadgets, because it's got gadgets. Yes.
Yep.
So it gets gadgets that we put on this bike. He'll really start giving us the tough cases, guys. The police have motorcycles already. Like, that's the thing that they have. This is not new technology.
The police are the last people you want to tell about your illegal modifications to your motorcycle.
Also, Vulcan Skull aren't police. Like, they're junior police.
Yeah.
Do they think they're going to start getting, like, murders? They're still in high school.
But they're
listen.
not so smart.
What more can you get to help you solve like a weird murder case than a rocket powered motorcycle?
A rocket bike, yeah, for sure.
That's definitely true, yeah.
It's the highest
Listen.
qualification you can attain.
Listen, Batman is the world's greatest detective, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Followed close behind by Elongated Man.
Yes.
Yep.
But he's the world's greatest detective, and he has a rocket car.
Sure does.
So I bet that what happened is they like, well, we need to figure out how to be more like Batman. And they looked at one thing and said, that we can accomplish. We can do this. And that way, like, we'll just start filling in the gaps. Soon we'll start, like, carrying, like, weird metal boomerangs shaped like our symbol. We gotta find a symbol first, but, you know, we can do that.
Dude, their names are
considered,
Vulcan
like,
Skull. That's
and
yeah.
They considered, you know, like going to the far reaches of Africa to train and like studying with some of the world's greatest detectives. And they were like, no, that sounds like a lot of work. What if we just got a very fast motorcycle?
Watch out, crime.
Also, I don't know if this is one of those questions that you ask and there's never going to be an answer. Wait, did that motorcycle come with a giant rocket? Or is one of them secretly an amazing engineer?
I mean, it'd be Skull, right?
I don't know.
Absolutely. But, because that's not
Because
like...
they do
a
talk
thing
about
you-
modifications.
Yes. And the fact that they don't press that button and the whole bike explodes is a miracle of the highest order.
Doesn't Skull go to space?
Yeah, I guess technically...
Or is it Bulk? I think one of them goes to the Lost Galaxy, and I don't remember which one.
For fucking real?
Was this before
Yes.
or after they
Awesome.
became monkeys?
After.
Okay.
Yes, long after.
Yeah.
They stick around on this show for much longer than you'd expect.
I would like to say, though, Michael, just for the record, you say he goes to space, and that's true.
Yes.
But it's not like he was selected to be an astronaut.
No, that's true. He's just...
They sent a town of people into space, and it was sort of like, well, we need one of every sort of person, I guess. So he got on that basis.
Is that why, like, only Bulk and not Skull, or the other way around?
Yeah, you don't
It's
need
like,
both of them if you just want representation.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so they run into some cogs who are our new putties.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And they are doing a robot walk.
Yes.
Yeah, they kind of look like Cybermen.
Yes, they do
Oh,
kind of
like
look
Doctor
like
Who
Cybermen.
Cyberman.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, they're like
incredibly
super low rent
low budget.
Cybermen.
Which is impressive to describe a Doctor Who monster. Because
I was going to say, because like Cybermen already look like low rent Cyberman.
Yes, they do.
So what are they called? Cogs, right?
cogs, yes.
And this
Okay,
walk
so
they
the
have going
cogs
on-
are like... It's like a dance. It's like a robot dance, but a shitty one.
Yeah, because they're moving their arms in such a robotic fashion, which makes sense up until they start fighting like actual people who can fight. And then you realize that they have the same points of articulation as a human does. So they don't need to do that at all.
It's just...
There was only so much room in the old CPU for like movement, like programming. So they
Got
put
it. So it's
all
all
the
fighting.
good stuff, into fighting, and they gave
Yep.
them like walking 101.
Love it. That's
It's
a
like,
perfect
it's like
explanation.
assigning
So-
points to your Dungeons and Dragons character. They gave them like 10 in Kung Fu.
Yep.
But they've got like a 1 in just general locomotion.
Yes. Okay.
Right, so the cogs are very close to the Zeozords.
Yes.
And that's a problem.
Is it?
It will be. We'll deal with that in a bit.
All right.
Because now we have to talk about Sean again.
Yeah, good.
So Sean
Yes.
has a way that he can ace this test without studying.
Yeah. He's a telepath.
No, he's not. That's not it.
That's not it.
He's got the answers.
Ah,
Okay, I've
Print
got
it
a
out.
question about this.
go.
If he has the answers, why did he ask Tanya to help him study?
Oh, it's a hit on her.
Yeah,
okay, I
definitely.
guess that makes sense.
Definitely.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it just seems
I
like he's
also-
making a lot of trouble for himself.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, this is a thing that I get an enormous kick out of, because literally never in my entire life have I met another teacher who's like, oh yeah, like I just have a copy of my answer sheets, like just chilling out, and I just leave that shit on my desk, and then like it disappears and they don't know what happened to it, or they're just like,
gotta
oh,
say-
my answer sheet disappeared. That's fucking weird. Well, I guess I won't change anything. Test away, kids. Like, that's just
And
never
then-
happened.
And then that one kid who was failing algebra before gets 100%. And you're like, yeah, that seems reasonable. He must have put in
Right.
a lot of work.
See, I always just assumed that that was an American thing, because that definitely doesn't happen in Australia.
No.
But I was
No,
listening
that's, that's just not a thing.
I was listening to a podcast called Strangers a little while ago about a guy who never learned to read, but ended up graduating high school and university by a few different things, but largely stealing tests, and went on to become a teacher of English despite not knowing how to read.
Oh my God.
So there is somewhere... Yeah, like 100% real story.
Okay.
He did eventually.
I guess
teach
somebody's
himself in
doing it
his
then.
40s. Yeah, there are people out there that have answers in locked cabinets, but I don't understand how that can happen.
Amazing.
That's
so.
good.
But so Sean has got the answers to this algebra test. Tanya she's just like, what the fuck, dude? You can't. This is cheating, Sean. Which he knows, Tanya. That's why he's secretive about it.
Yeah, that wasn't the bit he was fuzzy on.
Yeah.
And
No, he's
and
good
he's
at
like,
baseball.
no.
He's bad at math, but he's pretty good at cheating.
Yeah,
She doesn't take it well, but he takes her not taking it well worse. He's like, what do you mean you've got a problem with me cheating? I'm only good at baseball. I'm going to be good at baseball forever. Why have you got a problem with this?
even if you don't know Tanya, which is fair because she's new.
Yes.
You know that she's hanging out very closely with the 4 or 5 biggest goody two shoes in school. Like, Billy is central to that group. Like that guy doesn't be like, oh yeah, the person who hangs out with Billy might be a little against someone cheating.
It's like he said, hey, I'm going to go rob a bank. And she was like, you cannot rob a bank. And he was like, what are you talking about? I would love to rob banks. We're going to rob banks all the time. I'm great at robbing banks. This is the best thing. This is so offensive to me that you said I can't rob a bank.
Yeah. I can see that you specifically are struggling with this concept because
I don't understand. Like, why did he not see this reaction coming?
I don't know. Yeah. I'm with you.
Anyway. It's time.
The only thing in my notes is a line that just says, Sean sucks a lot.
That's true. That is absolutely the case.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's time to go around?
I don't know.
I would be surprised if he showed up for like maybe one more episode in 20 episodes time.
Like Angela?
Yeah, exactly like Angela. Yeah.
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 Yeah. All right, time to go fight some robots.
Yep.
Right.
We had a pretty crappy robot fight last week.
Yes.
This one's better.
It is better. Michael.
Yes.
I have a question for you, and then over to the brothers in a sec, I think. I spent all of last season being like, this is terrible, we've got shitty American fights, but at least next season we'll have Sentai footage fights.
Yep.
Yay. No, that's not what we get.
No, not this week. Maybe next week.
Yeah.
And to you guys, do they not have footage of fights with cogs in O-Ranger that you know of?
I mean, I've only seen the first episode, but I have to assume that they do. Like, there are cog fights in that first episode.
Yeah. I don't understand why they keep doing this. It's more expensive and it's worse.
Maybe that footage doesn't show their Zeo powers, like the Zeo power punch.
Yeah, God forbid we miss out on that.
When you really slowly punch two things at once.
Yeah.
And the Zeo power kick, which is when you do the same kick you've been doing for the last 3 years on this show.
Yeah, but you stop in midair for a second in the middle of it. Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is like maybe these action figures have like a special spring-loaded like Huji What's It that somehow is connected to the move that they're doing, and they just gotta get that plug in there. Because otherwise, no, there's no damn reason.
Sorry, I just had a very sudden gasp because I realized I think I know the answer to this.
Okay.
In
really?
the Sentai, the Yellow Ranger... So they all have power weapons, right? Zeo power weapons.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The
would
yellow
imagine.
ones is nunchucks. And this was in the period of time in America when nunchucks were considered the devil. So they weren't allowed to show nunchucks being used on screen because they're considered to be too violent, as opposed to swords, which like I don't know what's going on there. So they actually had to not use any of the nunchuck footage, which I imagine would disqualify a lot of the fighting on the ground.
Oh man, no,
Dave,
I bet you're right.
Dave, I have a question for you. Do you remember nunchucks being like? I remember nunchucks being a thing that you were not allowed to like bring to school. But I don't remember them like being outlawed from television. I mean, Michelangelo existed this entire time, I think.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Like, man, dude, parents get like torqued up about shit. Like,
I know, but I can confirm nunchucks were very popular in the States in the 90s.
I mean,
yeah,
here's
crazy popular.
The beautiful thing about nunchucks is that they're a self-defeating weapon.
Yes.
If you give a kid a nunchuck, it's under 6 minutes before they hit themselves in the head and are no longer interested in playing with nunchucks.
I think it's more that you give a child nunchucks and they will badly hurt themselves.
Oh,
every
okay.
time.
That thing is the negative outcome they're trying to avoid.
Yes.
It's not kids beating each other up
No.
with nunchucks.
They won't get
I
that
had,
far.
I don't. Yeah.
I had a
Yeah,
set
although-
of like foam nunchucks. It was like a light plastic core with like a foam around it that I got from I think I got it as a prize from Chuck E. Cheese, I want to say.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. You know, it seems weird that you would try to like get rid of nunchucks because, like, unlike a lot of other weapons, you could literally make nunchucks after like one stop at a Home Depot. It would not be hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where there was obviously a bit of sort of backlash against violence in television in that period generally. And because nunchucks are super popular, they became the target of it, despite the fact that that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, I think parental moral outrage didn't necessarily fall along sort of logical lines all of the time.
It's good to know that that's changed now.
Yeah.
I also remember there being a lot of hubbub around people not being allowed to own shuriken when I was in like
Yeah, that
maybe
was a
8th
thing.
grade. Because what would happen is people just set up like kiosks at the mall, and they would sell like brass knuckles and shurikens.
That is, guys, I just want to be clear. That is not like a joke exaggeration about like Americans' bizarre obsession with weaponry. That is a 100% true fact.
But
You can just buy deadly weaponry at like a stand in the mall.
But the thing is, they weren't allowed to sell it as deadly weaponry, right? So they had to sell it as like novelty items. So what they would do is they would like drill a small hole in part of the shuriken, and then they would like thread a cheap chain through it, and like, oh, it's like a keychain or a necklace or something.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I own a pair of brass knuckles that is technically a belt buckle. So there you go.
Oh man. In Australia, if you sell brass knuckles, you will go to jail.
Yeah, they are like straight up illegal.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
For real?
Yeah,
no, I got these.
Out,
I got them as a groomsman's present.
Nice.
Yeah, it turns out we decided there's no legitimate reason for wanting to punch someone in the face with metal.
Yeah.
No, you guys are right. Like,
Yeah,
you're
that's
you're on the correct side of that equation.
To.
Yeah, I'm on board with that policy, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, look, some of our government's decisions we don't necessarily agree with, but the idea that maybe brass knuckles aren't a fun gift for everyone, that's not
That's
not
all right.
a terrible one.
Absolutely. And it's interesting, too, looping back around to the nunchucks thing. This was the same period of time where, in the UK, the Ninja Turtles had to become the Hero Turtles.
Yep.
Because even being a ninja was considered just, like, not okay for children to take in. So it does seem to be quite racially specific in its because it's like nunchucks are out, being a ninja is out, shurikens are out. Like they're clearly coming around to a certain theme here.
Is that awesome?
Yeah, that's it. You got it, Mike. I've gotten one.
Got it in one. Mind you, the next season of Power Rangers, the collectible gimmick is like Shuriken.
Yeah,
they're calling them ninja stars, but
We got over it, clearly.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, for now, until the next season of Power Rangers comes out.
and kids are throwing foam stars at each other. One kid will get blinded straight away.
Yeah, get ready for wave 2 of that shit.
Oh, no, but that's even better, because then you've just got that one rad kid with an eye patch and a bunch of ninja stars, and that's the coolest kid on the playground.
Yeah, he gets so much cooler overnight.
There was something I was going to say, but I forgot what it was.
That's fine.
Can't have been that important.
Yep.
All right, anyway, they're making Staroid.
Yes.
That's the new monster. Mm-hmm. He's a star monster.
Yep.
He's shaped like a star. Mm-hmm. That's basically all he's got. He doesn't.
Yeah, that's. Dude, did they real quickly? Is this monster ever appeared before?
No.
Oh no.
Okay, because like they really referenced him as though like, oh yeah, Staroid, we got him working, and I was like, oh, maybe he was from the first 1 and 2 episodes, but no, he's just
no.
More recently,
they just dropped him in on it.
Yeah, that's been this show's sort of fill-in for actual backstory and world building. Is just talking like something has been around for a while and then having it show up 2 seconds later.
Like Professor Longnose?
Yeah. So, during Alien Rangers.
Professor Longnose. What a fucking disappointment.
It was the biggest disappointment because we thought, oh, they're building up to something. Turns out, no, they don't do that. That's not a thing that they're in for.
No. Well, they're really into the classic storytelling style of tell, don't show. That's what you're supposed to do, right?
That's it.
That's exactly how that works.
Storytelling. Yeah.
Chekhov's, we're just going to mention it now.
I wanted to ask something really quickly. So they're in the Cogverse or whatever their ship is called. The Queen is mad, Mondo is mad, and they manage to sort their differences out, and then like things turn decidedly sexual, right?
Oh,
because Mondo. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't wrong about that.
Matt, please read the exact line that you wrote down on your phone.
What I wrote down was, cruelty makes her horny. Which is, I think, all you can take away from that scene. Which is just a strange beat to hit on your children's television show.
And the thing is that Mondo then says, not in front of the child. But what's the kid's name?
Sprocket. Yeah.
And Sprocket's like, oh, the child, that's me. Like, he's sort of like, he's aware of what they're saying, but is not quite plugging into it. It is
So here's something that's that's real strange about when he says, "My dear," not in front of the boy. Normally, that's a phrase that I would associate with like an argument. Like, no, let's not argue in front of the boy. The fact that he needs, like, they're very clearly talking about fucking, and then he has to, specify, "My dear," not in front of the boy.
Yes.
Which makes me believe that, like, the queen does not care that anybody else is there. Like, she wants it now.
Yep, she heard what she needed to hear, and she's ready.
I mean, they're robots, so maybe, like, he just, like, inserts a USB into a USB port, and they can just do it surreptitiously.
I mean, Michael, they're mechanical, they're not
This was
digital.
pre-USB.
Oh, so it's like,
there was like a serial port. You had to screw some things in.
Yeah,
Heyo!
All right, we have to
Definitely move on for that one.
We will spend 20 minutes just doing puns about computer sex. So I think we just have to decide to move on.
Commodore 69.
I'm so glad you got that one in before we left.
I'm going to need a minute.
That justified the whole past 5 minutes or so. Good job.
All right,
Thank you.
Sean is still angry at Tanya.
Yep.
He's like, "I don't have to study algebra to play baseball," and she's like,
Technically true.
She's like, "I know you love your sport, but you have to realize your education is just as important."
Nerd.
Kids
Yeah.
at home, are you paying attention?
Right. Also, he's at a batting cage, so this dude clearly does, in fact, have time to study. Like,
I mean, not right now, definitely.
Well, no, he
Got stuff
really
to do.
needs to practice baseball because he misses the first 2 balls that come at him.
good point.
not
How is
what
this
we're
dude the
supposed
captain?
He's distracted by his love for someone and how much that person hates cheating on tests. It's a complicated moral situation for him to deal with.
I think, too, everyone of significant athletic ability that arrives at that school becomes a Power Ranger and is too busy to actively participate in sports. So I think you really get the second-tier people on your sporting teams at Angel Grove High.
Well,
I
Jason
think that's a really good point.
Billy and that were on the football team, weren't they?
Yeah, for a hot second.
Yeah, they fought that football monster.
Uh-huh.
Billy was on the football team? I mean, listen, David Yost is like a, big hunk of a man, but, like, Billy the character does not strike me as a footballman.
No, he was having trouble, I think, from memory. With
Yeah,
it.
he was not. Anyway. Yeah, so Tanya can't support Sean's cheating.
Yep.
Time to move on.
Yep.
Tommy and Adam are training now at the youth centre,
Yeah.
which has gotten a bit of an upgrade as well. There's some like brick walls, and it's not like a super obvious change, but they've definitely revamped the set a bit between seasons.
And they're doing martial arts again on the
Yep.
show. It's been a weirdly long time since we've seen this, but
Adam's doing some flips and shit.
Oh,
turns out
dude.
they're good at it.
These are some good damn flips.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I don't necessarily think that the show's decision to hire actors over martial artists is a bad one.
No.
But the thing that you miss out on is the sick flips.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even recently in Dino Charge and things like that, they are hiring people who can flip first and act second.
Yep.
Totally the right decision.
Yeah.
Flips over acting every time is my
Every
point.
time.
That's hashtag flips over acting, guys. Yeah, that's the hashtag.
Take
for
a stand.
this episode. All right, so Tanya's like, "Hey guys, I've got a problem. Someone wants to cheat and he thinks I'm a square. What am I going to do?" And they're like, "We are all here to support you at all times, except for right this second, because we have to go pilot some giant robots." But we will come back to this.
Gonna
It's a
table
weird
this,
note,
gonna
isn't
back
it?
burner this. We will come back.
I promise we're not going to forget it. It's definitely... Look, it's on the agenda. It's point 2. Point 1, giant robots. Point 2, Tanya, just tell him to fuck off.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Right. This relationship is not deep. You've been at this school for what, a week?
Yeah, there's not a lot of drama here. Like, here's bad news, drop him. Should be the lesson for children here.
Yeah, that's it. Super fast. Dude wants to cheat, let him go.
Yep.
All right, so because Staroid is there, they have to initiate the Zeo Zords. And Billy's like, but they haven't been tested yet. And Tanya should be like, we can just cheat on the test. That'd be a great way to tie the stories together. But
What, cheat on the test?
yeah, because he's talking about cheating on a
They
test.
haven't been tested.
They haven't been tested.
I see.
I'm just saying maybe occasionally this show could try to combine the stories instead of just having them all run at the same time.
It'd be weird that much, I think.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so Zordon's like, no, guys, listen up. We don't have to test them because I'm about to give you the most cursory possible information about them.
Yeah.
And that will be enough. So
I tell you what, I have never understood this show's preoccupation with being like, all right, you're going to see the Zords soon, but before they have their big reveal, we're going to show you some shitty small screen footage of it ahead of time to ruin a bit of the reveal. Let's do it.
because every part of the show is about spoiling the experience for you.
Yeah.
All right. So Kat and Tanya's Zords are basically just big guns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
they're Daleks.
They don't even seem to have any method of locomotion.
No,
I think they have
get,
tank treads or something.
Yes.
But they get pulled by Rocky and Adam Zords, who are the driving power.
Yep.
And then Tommy's just got a bird jet that does both of those things.
Yes.
Okay, so let me hop in real quick because this is the other thing I wanted to say. First of all, this is the other thing I want to say about O-Ranger specifically. First of all, if Billy built these things, why do they look like this? What happened in Billy's head is we need a Sphinx robot.
Yeah, dude, I
He's
don't
just
know.
been reading a lot of...
That is a strange conclusion for Billy Cranston to come to. The second thing is, in O-Ranger, these 5 robots are like the symbols of the 5 ancient human civilizations that existed on Pangea before Pangea broke up into the separate continents. So you've got the Sphinx from Egypt. You've got Taurus the Bull, I think, which is maybe Taurus, the constellations. I think that was probably associated with Greece. You've got
He's like white people, yeah.
You've got the Phoenix, which I forget what that's from. The
Different
pink
white
Zord is an Easter Island statue, which if you look at it, it looks kind of like an Easter Island statue.
Yep.
And the yellow Zord is this, I had to look it up.
I looked this one up as well. It's like a Japanese clay doll thing.
Yeah, it's those...
A dogu?
Yeah, those statues that are the Venus of whatever, those really proto-classical history, sort of round female figurines that have huge breasts and a basket on their head. It's like that, except she's wearing round Captain Cold sunglasses.
Yeah, that's a very good description.
Wow,
Matt, the immediate reference point for me was there's a Generation 2 or 3 Pokemon that looks like one of these.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
That, I don't that was a little after I stopped caring about Pokemon, but I definitely know it. Yeah. And all of a sudden, when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, that's not just a weird thing; that's a Japanese thing," which are often synonymous. But
I'm always fascinated with this show's half measures because it names 3 of the Zords.
Yeah,
it's this looks like a thing. It could be a Phoenix, and so on and so forth. But the first 2 Zords are just they're just Zeo Zords 1 and 2.
Yeah,
they're not anything.
Look, kids might know what a bull is, but I think asking them to know what a moai is oh, hold on, they might have to read.
Hold up a second.
Yeah, for a show that's preoccupied with education, though, it's this is an opportunity for actual education, as opposed to maybe don't cheat, probably.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay, so then Zordon drops this bullshit line. Because he says...
That's what he does.
He's as cool as these giant-ass robots with fucking laser cannons are, they're not the most important thing. The most important thing are your human attributes. Fuck that.
Their hearts and minds.
Yeah, that's not
right.
accurate.
No.
Your hearts and minds don't shoot giant lasers. Those giant robots are super important.
Are useful.
Yeah.
But also, you've got a giant robot.
In these situations, it's really more about the lasers than your hearts and minds, I feel.
Most things in my life are more about the lasers than hearts and minds.
Hashtag lasers over hearts and minds.
Yeah, it's a good life policy.
Yeah. All right. So it's time for them to morph now, finally.
Yep.
this is the first time we've like properly seen the morphing sequence isolated.
Yeah, I will say too that it's actually not quite the full. I'll try and get this vague for you, Michael.
Okay.
Not quite the full Zeo morphing experience. I guess I'd say.
I don't know what that means, but that's fine. I'm sure I'll find out. It feels slow, and I think the reason it feels slow is like I'm used to either Mighty Morphin, which was just yell your names and get out, or Dino Charge, which is long, but they run them simultaneously.
Yep.
Whereas what's here is like everyone gets yell their name and transform quickly, but we do 5 of them in a row.
Yeah. I will say that this is the show that kicked off the simultaneous morphing thing, and I think this is the reason why.
Okay.
Is that it is a bit lengthy. Yeah.
All right.
I just figured it was like the first time, and they just wanted to like ease into it.
Oh, definitely. You want to see the full screen morphs the first time.
They did ease into it by like they got their powers and then morphed again.
Yes.
This show is not very good, guys. It's never going to be good.
I'm beginning to suspect that.
But right this second is the high point of the episode for me, because it's Thunderbirds cross Power Rangers.
Yeah,
and I will always be on board for that.
Yeah, that's fair. So they go like down a little slide into the heads
that
of the
was
Zords.
sick. That was
right.
real fucking cool.
It's so good. Because normally, I guess, the Sentai Zord stuff is a little more abstract and interesting for American audiences. The Zords tend to just like show up.
Yep.
But for some reason in Zeo, they're like, oh, this footage is great. Let's actually use it. And it is.
It is.
I'm always super interested and on board for like Zord operation and launching stuff.
Yep.
Because they're giant robots, and this gives them that sense of scale. And you get to see the hangar, and for some reason it is like there's a blizzard outside, which isn't by California.
Why the fuck is there
okay.
snow?
I mean, listen, okay, there are mountains in California, which they are in, and if you get high enough up in those mountains, it is snowy, depending on what time of year it is, even if it is, like, super nice and warm in Los Angeles. Like, that actually could be true.
Aha.
Now, I will say that as soon as they walk through that door and are on the other side, any trace of snow is long gone.
Just gone.
Oh, yes.
It was a micro blizzard. You guys don't have micro blizzards where it just is a blizzard for like 6 seconds?
For dramatic effect, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems charming and deadly, so that is probably local to Australia.
Yeah, that's what we specialize in.
All right, so there's some quadrifighters again, and they are shooting lasers at the sky. Like the sky explodes.
It's alien technology, man. Who knows?
I don't. So the Firebird, like, almost immediately gets itself into trouble. Like,
it does get to look pretty cool up until that point, though.
yeah, it's doing like dodging and weaving and ducking, and
Barrel
then it
rolls.
hits the power lines and gets tangled in them for basically the rest of the episode.
Yep.
Yeah, they can't do anything.
It's not a great first showing.
No.
And they don't even try to explain it as Tommy being like, oh, this is new, I'm not... Like, he did just also have a flying bird that he was very good at piloting, so...
I think, like, he gets hit, allegedly, we don't really see it, by one of the quadrifighters, and has a moment of like, whoa, I'm kind of going down, and then hits the power lines.
Okay, fair enough.
But
So the
wasn't he previously a pilot in one of his different Zords? Like, didn't he have a Falcon at some point?
The last one that he had like 6 seconds ago.
Yeah.
So he should know how to do this.
Yes. Yes.
Yup.
But
so
There's
then,
no... Yeah.
so a giant Starman arrives, which is just Starro.
Yep.
Oh, before we get to that, there's a raid bit where the quadrifighters attack Adam and Rocky's Zords, and like they go after Adam, and Adam just steps on them.
Yep.
And they go after
That is
Rocky,
pretty rad.
and the Sphinx just like bites it and throws it to the side.
It's cool,
pretty
and does a
great.
very good job of establishing the scale of the Zords as well, which I always appreciate, because that sort of stuff can get a bit lost sometimes.
But now it's time for Staroid to show up.
Yep.
And he's like, "Grah, I'm a star monster. Grah."
He's here to conquer her.
See what she
Yeah,
did
he's
there.
got a cool look though. Like he looks
does,
kind of neat.
absolutely.
He's like a giant ninja star robot dude, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got an energy boomerang that he shoots like the top point of his star.
Yep.
And that fuck some shit up,
That's also cool.
and then
Yep.
he just turns into a sphere.
Yes.
Which
Yeah,
is
Not
not
sure.
It is weird. Do you imagine that in the Sentai, there's some sort of connection between the giant star monster and the Power Ranger who has a giant star on his helmet?
Well, Matt, I can tell you that from a brief cursory Google,
Yeah.
I believe the giant star monster is the eye of another giant monster that they previously destroyed.
What?
Oh, fuck, that's
why
cool.
is Sentai so much better?
Oh, dude, next year, Dave. Next year we get to do O-Ranger.
Oh, that's right. We're doing O-Ranger next year. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it seems like a solid decision.
Yeah, so you will be able to come back and tell us all about why this monster made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't here.
It sure as hell
It just
doesn't here.
Just turns into a sphere.
It's cool, though. Like, it's weird and strange, which I'll take any day over very quick and boring
That's
battle.
something. We've had a lot of, like, very cursory, monster goes giant, use the sword on it, it explodes battles.
Yes.
And this is at least
Something happening.
something happening.
Yep. I'll take
So
it.
when it turns into a sphere, it's basically invincible. Like, they cannot damage it with their
Yes.
individual Zords. And the fight
Yeah,
starts
that's right.
to turn against them.
If only they
And
had
there
some sort of solution.
If only. The Starro does... He catches on fire for reasons that I don't understand. But he catches... Now he's just a giant ball that's on fire. And he's, like, just hovering above them. I thought he was going to, like, smash them, but he doesn't. He just...
I think he's tried to melt them slowly, is what I took away
Yeah.
from the episode.
And then
It seems at least to be working on the Phoenix Zord, which you think would have some kind of, like...
Right!
You know, like...
But
even
fire
if you're fine
resistance?
with getting burnt up, that is 100%
Right!
the Phoenix's thing.
Oh, no, that's the thing. If you melt it, it will come back. But, like,
Just
Tommy
Tommy
doesn't
will be
know
dead.
that yet.
Right, the Zord will be fine.
Yeah. Oh boy.
All right,
Okay.
so it's time to use our Zeonizer crystals,
Yeah.
which don't look like crystals.
No.
They look like little metal boxes.
Yeah. They're, like,
And,
vaguely
they-
crystal-shaped.
There could be a crystal inside them.
Yep.
There you go.
They're in like
And
a
they all
protective carrier case.
say, like, Zeo Crystal Power, Energize Go, or whatever it is, individually. But, like, they don't... They each say the exact same thing. It's not like each Zeo Crystal is named a separate thing, and they have to go like, Tyrannosaurus Power. They're just like, Zeo Crystal. And, like, it
more
very
Zeo
much...
Crystal.
Yeah, they're just named, which is boring.
Yeah,
Or they're just
it
numbered.
seems very much as low that, like, they are just going to start jamming that stuff together very soon, because that took way too long.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely it did.
Yep. So this Megazord sequence
Yeah.
is pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty on board with this Megazord.
I do like Megazord combination sequences that aren't just all the bits float up into the sky and then go back together again.
Sure.
There's some
Yes.
assembly required.
So let's talk about the chains come off.
Yep.
Because they have to separate.
Yep.
Rocky becomes the arms.
Yes.
Adam becomes like the thighs and waist part.
Yes.
The
Crutch, I think, is what you're looking for.
That's what I'm trying to avoid saying. The two girls become the feet.
Yep.
And the phoenix like forms the back and head.
Yes.
And it's pretty cool.
Yeah. The Phoenix even has to, like, lock on, which is just, like, a charming little detail. And then, I guess, the helmet comes from some part
I
of
think
some
it's
sort.
like parts of the phoenix
Okay.
that don't clip onto the back. They become like a helmet for it.
Sure.
Yeah,
And,
I think that makes sense.
And then we have our Zeo Megazord.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's time for it to get out its Zeo Megazord sword.
Yep.
And it's got like a coin in it that charges it with energy or flashes or something.
Yeah.
Something,
And then they attack.
yeah.
And that destroys him.
Yep.
But he like starts to reform. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, oh, we'd better just use the finishing sword attack instead of the regular sword attack. And so they like do the same thing, but this time they get a background.
Yeah, a pyramid's behind them, which, like, generally speaking, that you're doing something better if a pyramid flashes behind you.
That's just
Oh,
science.
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so they cut the sphere in half and
And it explodes.
This part was a bit anticlimactic.
The pacing certainly was strange to me. It does make me wonder if it finished slightly differently in the Sentai footage.
I have
Yeah,
to
who
suspect it
knows?
does because it
Yeah,
when they
probably,
destroyed the star dude, Like, he was in pieces on the ground, and then the sphere rose up, and the other bits started, like, form around him.
Yeah.
So that must have been what it is like the sphere was the actual monster, and, like, it, like, built itself a body around itself, so it had to, like, destroy the exterior and then kill the sphere, maybe?
Yeah,
Maybe.
that would make
that
sense.
sounds right.
I was
again,
also really
the Americans
surprised that they did the Megazord, like, right off the bat.
See, Dave, that's because you've gotten used to Sentai.
Yeah. That's a thing that the show does. Yeah. Like, they understand that all the kids are there to see the giant robot.
Except, like, I don't think that's actually true. I think that's a misconception. I think the kids are super excited about the individual Zords. And then it's just gravy when you get a Megazord out of it.
I mean, these individual Zords, like, I like them.
Yeah.
But they're not particularly... Like, two of them are just rectangles that shoot lasers.
Yeah,
I think you're
that's kind of lame.
How much kids love guns.
That's fair.
It's the only thing they like more than nunchucks and throwing stars.
Exactly, yeah. So, like, big guns that are pulled by a ball and
Yeah, I mean, when you put it like that, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like the Sphinx, but it's got a turret behind it all the time.
Like, that's...
actually, when you say it that way, that's fucking rad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Staroid is dead,
Yep.
and it's time to just wrap up the moral of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Tanya, we don't know if she ever actually got to talk to the other Power Rangers about...
Presumably they all forgot. That's definitely my reading of the situation.
You know, they've had a busy afternoon.
Yeah.
They all, like, they promised, but, you know, they owe her one.
Yeah.
And so Sean sits down next to her, and he's like, sup?
Yep.
She's like, fuck you. I told you, we're not doing the cheating thing. And he's like, I handed in the answers. And she's like, oh, even though you've seen all the answers now and, like, presumably could still cheat on this one,
Yeah.
I guess that does it for me. You want
Now
to go
now we're
bang?
cool. Everything's fine.
You want to go
Yep.
study?
Yeah. Cross multiply.
Okay, so he asks, will you still help me study? And then she opens her thing and just says, I just happen to have an opening in my schedule. I don't want to make it sound like this is just me. Like, this also is weirdly sexual.
Yeah, I definitely think that the writers of this show get bored sometimes. And they're like, how much can we slip in here without, getting in a lot of trouble?
That's what I said.
Well, I feel bad.
I mean, remember that episode where Zach said, speaking of happy endings, I forgot Angela?
Yes.
That's an actual line from
That's
this
verbatim,
show. So,
yeah.
I mean, I guess when you're only writing 3/4 of a TV show,
Yeah.
you've got a little extra time to be like, hey, let's put some sneaky...
In the window.
Man, my high school life involved so much less, like, girls teaching me to study. Maybe I should have been dumber. And I could have gone to girls and been like, hey, teach me about algebra, and then we can
Well,
bone.
I mean, we've talked about this before, but your issue was that you went to a special nerd school.
I did go to a special nerd school. I even went to maths camp.
You did.
I did.
So I think you had a very specific high school experience.
I did. That's definitely true.
Where like, being a nerd was just kind of the status quo.
I think I was still a nerd, though.
Yeah, but, like, I know your group of friends
Yes.
in high school, and they are all of a very specific nerdy type.
That's definitely true.
Okay.
In normal high schools, I mean, I don't want to use the word normal to
No,
make
that's
you feel
fine.
bad.
I'm used to that.
But, yeah, things were slightly different, I
Right.
believe. Yeah.
Yeah, even our cool kids were nerds.
Yeah. You're having some sudden realizations now, aren't you?
Oh, no, I mean, I knew that. But, yeah, fair enough. All right, so that's the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. That sure was
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Sure was.
Yeah.
So, Matt and Dave, overall impressions. What do you guys think?
Listen, it's got
That's
its
fair.
merits. It does have its merits. And there are... What's weird about it is that... obviously, it's built on the skeleton of a Sentai show. But I kind of forget, because I don't watch Power Rangers that much, how much other stuff they put into it. Like, how much Angel Grove stuff there is always surprises me.
Yeah, how much filler they have to produce for this show is kind of crazy. And how much they treat it like filler. It's just like, we have to have Vulcan Skull fucking around for 3 minutes. All right, guys, off you go. And that is their C-plot.
Oh, by the way, we didn't talk about the after credits or the during credits bit with Vulcan Skull.
Oh, right. We actually see Lieutenant Stone for the only time in the episode in the credits.
Yeah,
So
he's been away for a while.
I think the cops show up to tow away their now destroyed bike because the rocket power blew up the engine. And Vulcan Skull are so sad, and Lieutenant Stone is so mad at them. And Skull says to him, Lieutenant Stone, just imagine how boring your life would be without us. And Lieutenant Stone gets this look on his face as he is thinking about what his life would be like without them. He just goes away for a while, in his mind. They can no longer reach him.
Yep. He's in his happy place
The
very
fascinating
solidly.
thing about that is presumably Lieutenant Stone has the power to just tell them to go away.
Yeah.
They're not police officers. They're participating in some sort of junior police officer program.
Even if they were police officers, they have definitely committed enough fireable offences by now.
I mean, I think building a rocket bike is
Yeah,
that's high on that list.
absolutely. But he doesn't.
No.
Maybe he sees something in them, Michael.
Does he?
I mean, wrongly, if he does.
Fair enough.
But,
Right, yeah.
There has to be some explanation.
yeah.
Maybe he's one of their secret fathers. Or both of their secret fathers, but that's a bit too far for me.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's where you draw the line?
Yeah, them
All right.
being secret half-brothers is too much.
Okay, all right. Okay, so now that we've gotten to Zeo, we've determined a new way of ranking the episodes.
We sure have, Matthew.
It's basically still a 3-point scale.
Yep.
But we've made it shape themed to go with the loose
Okay.
theme of this
Okay.
season of Power Rangers. So, going from the top, we have the three-sided shape, which is the highest. That's the pyramid.
Yep.
That's top of the list.
Yeah, the pyramids are great.
Yep. In the middle, we have Madison Square Gardens, which is the middle, because it really depends what's going on there, whether it's good or bad, right? So
Sure.
it could go either way.
Yep.
Fair.
And then at the bottom, we have the Pentagon, because the military-industrial complex is the worst.
Okay.
So that is our 3-point scale that we've established.
Okay.
With
So
a lot of
triangle,
sort of-
square, star at the bottom.
Pentagon.
Pentagon.
Pentagon, sorry.
Yep. So, what do you guys think, first of all? On a 3-point scale, where would it go?
Well, it's
Man,
not,
I just have so little context.
I cannot imagine that we would call this a pyramid.
Yeah,
I think that's fair
that.
to say.
I personally would lean towards Madison Square Garden because you do get the introduction of the Zords, and that's fun.
Yup.
Right?
Yep.
It didn't make me angry to watch it.
Yep.
So
That's basically the criteria that we have to use on the show.
Yep.
There's nothing in it that was offensively bad.
Yes.
It was just fine.
Yeah.
And so I think we would all agree that this is a Madison Square Gardens episode.
That's definitely where I was going. Yeah. Cool. And the last thing we have to do is put Starro, it's not actually called Starro, is it,
It's
Michael?
Staroid.
Staroid. Yeah, much better
Staroid.
name. On our new Power Rangers Zeo Ranger Danger creature feature.
Yeah, this is going to be challenging, Matt.
Well, I mean, we only have one other monster on there at the moment, right?
We don't even
Oh,
have any other
you have
monsters on
reset the list?
Oh, we have reset them. Yeah, so our thinking is that we'll keep the Mighty Morphin list as is. We'll start a new one for Zeo. And then maybe
Okay.
in 5 or 10 seasons' time, we'll do a grand final where we take the top 10 of each list and try and merge them together.
A creature feature.
Yes, that's right.
A creature double feature.
Absolutely. So I guess Staroid just goes on the list
Yes,
at number 1.
Starro
Yeah, there
is
you go.
technically
Best
number
monster.
1.
Now, maybe just sort of to help us inform our decisions later, how are we feeling about Staroid anyway? Super cool design, right?
Yeah.
Definitely
No
cool design.
personality.
Yeah, zero personality, super cool attacks. He was in a pretty cool Megazord battle. So I reckon probably in the sort of top third of monsters.
I mean, it depends. Maybe all of Zeo's monsters are rad.
Well, that's the thing. We can't know at this stage, right?
No. Or maybe that's as good as it gets.
Oh, boy.
Oh god, I hope not.
That's a bleak notion. Whew.
Now, have you officially retired the sword board?
You know, we have, But I guess we could bring it back. We did get a new sword.
I don't even know where that document is.
We've lost the sword board.
That's fine. There's
What do you mean
not new
document,
swords
Michael?
often enough.
I think you mean the giant wooden sort of plaque system we have, in which we permanently etch new entries onto the sword board.
No, I think this is no, I don't have the sword board.
That's not it?
I'm sorry, Matthew.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I don't think this sword is any different from the other Megazord swords anyway, so... It doesn't even get dropped in from orbit, so, there's nothing to recommend it particularly.
It's a fine sword.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
It cuts, so...
What more do you need?
Yeah.
What more do you want? Oh, it has to be dropped from orbit, like you're some sort of sword connoisseur.
I am,
You're
though.
a connoisseur.
That's all that I have to take away from this podcast is, I've seen a few cool swords, basically.
I tell you what,
fair
because that sword, the one that fell from orbit, have you watched Zeo Ranger?
We've seen
Little
one
tiny
episode.
bits, yeah.
Because in Zeo Ranger, the name of that sword is the God Horn.
Shit, that's cool.
Yeah, I know,
So
it's great.
Cool. Whew. All right. Yep. Yeah.
Anyway, just thought I'd let you know.
Zeo Ranger. Thanks.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Hey, Matt, how good is that show that we could have been watching instead?
Yeah, I hear it's fucking great.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, guys, you've made a bad call because they make 52 new episodes of Sentai a year. You will never be done.
No, we can't.
Oh,
catch
no.
up.
Yeah, no. We literally can't catch up. We're like 30 years behind.
The most we can do is keep up with it.
Yeah. But, Michael, you say that's a bad decision, but I would take an indefinitely long good job or a good thing to do than like a limited time horrible thing.
Yeah, that's fair. And this is still 15 years of podcast material.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay.
Functionally not so different.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Well, I think that's it. Thank you so much for being with us, guys.
Yeah, can you tell our listeners
Yeah,
where they
it was
can
a
find
blast.
you if for some reason they are not finding you already?
Yes.
Sure. If you are looking for us on Twitter, we are at Super Sentai Bros. I say we. It's really just me. Dave is not on Twitter. But
read
Our
Twitter.
Twitter is just me, basically.
Yeah.
but if Dave tells me to say something on Twitter, I'll do it. He's literally never asked. Our podcast is the Super Sentai Brothers. We are currently in our third season, just started. It is a view to a Kaku Ranger, in which we are watching every episode of Ninja Sentai Kaku Ranger. Our previous seasons have been Live and Let Die Ranger, in which we watched every episode of Gosei Sentai Die Ranger, and the Jetman with the Golden Gun, in which we watched every episode of Chojin Sentai Jetman.
Are you guys terrified that you're going to hit a Sentai that you can't fit into a James Bond pun?
I live in terror of that moment. I honestly, like, A View to a Kaku Ranger is kind of a stretch as it is.
It is a
I
little
love
tough.
that one.
Next year I know we've got a good one lined up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Next
then
year's
the next-
next year's a slam dunk.
And then
I
the next
will
one that
say-
works for me after that is Magi Ranger, because then we could do On Her Magi Ranger's Secret Service.
Ah, perfect. Yep.
So
Okay.
we'll like they are tough to come up with. Producer Mark actually came up with Jetman with a Golden Gun at like the 11th hour last year, but we've never talked about it because we just decided on our podcast it would be funnier to literally never acknowledge the fact that they're all James Bond
fair
puns.
But outside of the bubble of Super Sentai Brothers, on our podcast, you can...
Oh yeah. Like it's not
yeah.
not cheating if you're not in your own zip code. That's the
Yeah, that's absolutely a law, I believe, I think, in the United States of America.
it is. That is a legal law in America.
Yeah, that's right.
It's one of the few that we
true.
have.
Okay, well, this has been super fun. We love having you guys on. We always have an amazing time. Thank you so
thanks
much
again for
joining
having us on. It was just such a blast. You'll have to come back on our show.
We'll absolutely do that because, we love you guys and we love your show much better.
Yeah.
You get to watch good television. So kind of a win-win for us, really.
Yeah, what you just said was, hey, do you want to watch something good instead?
Yeah. We'll do that.
Oh, boy. All right. We will be back next week. That's we, Matt and I.
Yes.
This Matt, not that Matt.
Mm-hmm.
I understand how that could be confusing. The episode is called Target Rangers. So presumably they go and buy some reasonably priced home goods.
Yeah. Yeah, some cheap plates.
Yep. I hope that joke translates in America.
You guys have
yeah,
Target
Target.
over there, right? Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
We're
So
fine.
good. Okay.
We have Target. We also have
do we-
Kmart. I know you were
There you
talking
go.
about that recently.
Ah, I did not know that.
Do you
There
guys
go.
have Big W?
No.
We did, but his term of office ran out.
Hey!
All right, I think that's as good a place as any to end it.
Absolutely. Thank you once again to the Super Sentai
thank
Brothers.
you so much,
Find
guys.
them on iTunes and Twitter. Definitely subscribe to the show if you don't. We certainly do. And we will see you guys next week. Oh, wait. I have one more thing to say.
Oh, God.
Everybody, stay in shape. There we go. I almost forgot my brand new super great sign off.
I hate it so much.
Yeah. Hey.
All right.
Okay, now we're done.